So
One thing,
that said, let's talk about you all. So some of you were on the challenge, and some of you experienced the splitting up of your calories, your proteins, your carbs, your fats, and your fiber for every meal, right? I know some of you got tired of the menus, but the experience of that was, I hope, really something that made you think about your diet and how to make it more successful, right? How do you all feel about that? Would one of you or two of you care to share your experience splitting up your macros like that, and how it made you feel, or whatever you want to share?
I enjoyed the freedom of not having to track every single meal. I enjoyed instead using the tracker to find what works, and it inspired me. By the end, I wanted to work with my calorie count instead of the 1200, and I want to come up with recipes that I can use that fit my calorie count, that I can have as go-tos, and all I have to do is measure my food then, and I don't have to track every single meal because it's already been tracked.
Yeah, that is a great thing to do, right? Meals that you love, that you can prepare, that you know are going to fit into your macros and your calories, are simple. They're those things you don't have to think about, right? And the thing that we want to do at Bod Babes is we want to have a lifestyle. And Lindley, that's what makes it a lifestyle. If you can dumb it down, it's really not dumbing it down, it's becoming smarter. It's really becoming smarter and just dumbing it down to where life happens, man. And we just don't have the time to sit all the time and think, oh, what am I going to eat? Oh, how am I going to get it to work? And then at the end of the day, we're scrambling. We don't have enough protein. We haven't eaten our fiber. And the way that we're doing it, and the way Lindley is talking about breaking all that down into meals that she likes, and she knows she can just fix a recipe real quick and it fits her day. What a way to go. It's a non-thinker. And like Lindley said, you'll get to the point where right now you're tracking for me and for you, right? Trying to figure it out. But you'll get to the point, Lindley, by doing that, where you know that you've had enough protein for the day. You don't have to track it, right? Now, there's still going to be certain times where you're like, okay, I only ate 3 meals at home. I know that I have 30, you'll know I ate 3 meals at home. So I know I've hit at least 90 grams of protein. So I know I'm going to have another 30 or 40, whatever that is, while I'm out at a restaurant. So how do I do that? Maybe that's 6, 7, 8 grams of, or ounces, sorry, 6, 7, 8 ounces. I want to say grams, ounces of meat of some type, right? Of some type of lean meat. So knowing that really seems to make things so much more simple, in my opinion, right? And so with every Bod Babes client, I think that's really going to be my goal from now on. Of course, you have a total calorie goal. You've got a total protein, total carbs and fats and fiber for the day. But most of our issue is that since we aren't splitting it out per meal, which seems harder in our minds, it makes us at the end of the day crunching, going to go, how do I meet these goals? I can't figure it out. I don't know how to get more protein, or we're trying to hit a lot of our protein in the morning, and the rest of the day when we eat, our blood sugar levels are spiking all over the place. And see, we don't want that. We don't want to stack all our fiber up in the morning. And I had a great fiber. I ate 20 some grams of fiber. Holy cow. And then the rest of the day, we're like, I didn't hardly have any fiber the rest of the day, but I got my fiber in. Well, then your blood sugar was spiking a lot, probably the rest of the day. See what I'm saying? And if we had things like fat around our middle, which says we have some insulin, even though the doctor may not have said you have insulin issues, if we've got a lot of fat around our belly area, we are having some type of insulin issues. Now, it may not be the type that we say I need a drug for, or I have a high A1C. But over 80% of all women over the age of 40 have a problem processing their carbs. And that's what leads to insulin resistance. And then we start gaining the fat around the middle, and it's a domino effect. And you know what? It makes it hard to lose weight. And, getting that fiber right throughout the day at every meal is so important because it helps you not let that blood sugar spike up and cause more of that insulin resistance. Almost all of us have a hard time losing weight. And we don't think about fiber, but your fiber has a lot to do with it. And I had women that could not lose weight before going on our nutrition challenge, and they've been my client for some time. Go on the nutrition challenge and lose weight. That was in part due to fiber at every meal, balanced nutrition. Your body getting enough protein throughout the day, eating small meals. That's what they were. They were 300-calorie meals, right around there, right? They weren't huge meals. And you're like, wow. But splitting that up and eating, 1,200 calories meals or 1,400, 1,600 calorie, whatever you had. But those were set up in 300-calorie ranges. That lets your body be more stable as well, just that calories through the day, right? So a lot of us want to eat 1 or 2 big meals, and there's a problem with that. We talk about fasting, and some of you guys have come on here and you've been like, I've been intermittent fasting for years and I don't understand why I can't lose the weight. The problem with that a lot of times is you're not getting enough protein and it causes muscle loss. Okay? You're intermittent fasting, your calories are too low, your protein levels are too low, you start losing muscle and it slows your metabolism down, and your body just says, no, I'm not going to let go of this. I'm going to help you survive. So the opposite sounds like it would be weird too. Like, well, Allie has me eating 4 or 5 times a day. I feel like I'm eating food all day long. What in the world, And you know what? If you have some muscle loss and you have some insulin resistance, sometimes that is the way to go. People will tell you all the time, oh, menopausal women need to intermittent fast. I know several of you on here right now, at least a few of you that I've talked to who have done it for years and didn't get you anywhere. It's because of muscle loss and different hormones that we're dealing with. So while it might work if it's set up correctly, most of us don't know how to set it up correctly. Most of us don't know how to get 120 grams minimum of protein in. Some of you were eating in 8-hour windows or less. Some of you eating in 6-hour windows and expecting to get 120, 130 grams of protein, and it just does not happen. Right? And so therefore that too causes an issue. So we have to find what works for our bodies. All of that being said, I'm kind of on a rant. I want you to realize that splitting up your meals into these portions like we did on this nutrition challenge, 300, 400 calories per meal with 30 to 40 grams of protein per meal, and splitting out your carbs, however many times you're going to eat, your fats, and also your fiber. Instead of, front loading it at breakfast, split it out through the day to help stabilize your blood sugar levels. You're going to get so much more out of it that way than you will any other way. And I want to remind you, for a lot of you, that's going to bring your fiber way up. Because some of you that have been doing keto and things like that, low carbing it, some of you ladies were not getting 5 or 6 grams of fiber a day. Yikes. And what that does, let me tell you real quick a little bit of what that does. It kills your immune system because you're not feeding your good gut bacteria. Yikes. That's a big deal. Okay. And so that fiber is good for that, the healthy, good fiber. Also, another thing that it does is, sorry, my mom's trying to text me and I'm sitting here going, why is mom texting me? She never texts me. I'm freaking out. It's an emergency. So sorry, it threw me off. But anyways, getting that fiber in is so important. But make sure you're getting your water in, right? Because so if we go from 5 or 6 grams of fiber, for those of you who are low carbonate or just whatever, and you didn't have very much fiber, and we're going to take it up to 25 or 30. I'd like to see you get to where you're 30 to 40 grams a day, right? That seems like a lot. But I'll tell you, if you're going from 5 or 6 grams to 30, you're in trouble. You've got to walk it up. So if you come on Bod Babes and you realize, Allie, I haven't been eating any fiber hardly at all, you look back in your tracking, then we need to talk about that, and we need to walk it up slowly. And you need to make sure that you get water. Have you ever made a bowl of oats and you put milk in there or water, whatever you put in there, and it looked like you had enough fluid? And then it sits there, you get called away for a minute, maybe you get on the phone, you come back and your oats are just one solid mass. Have you ever done that?
Oh, yeah.
That's what fiber does in your gut. So if you aren't getting enough water, what happens is you eat that fiber, it goes into your gut. And if you're not getting enough water, it will set up hard and it will cause you some constipation and some issues, right? Also, if you want to lose weight, water is so important, ladies, and we underestimate water. We think, oh, I just don't like water. Just somehow get it in. Because water helps all of your body processes work. If you feel like you're holding water all the time, drink water. That sounds opposite of what we should do, right? But it allows your body's if you're not drinking much water, your body's holding on to water. And so the more you drink, it'll let it go. Some of you tell me, well, Allie, I have to go to the bathroom all the time, can't do that. Well, your body acclimates. So just like we walk the fiber up, let's walk the water up, okay? I'd like to see minimum a half a gallon a day. If you're over 5'7", you should have a minimum of 3/4 of a gallon a day. And I'd like to see some of you that are like 5'7" and above get up to a gallon a day. All right. So let's walk it up and really get used to it. Your body will acclimate to it. Believe it or not, I get to a gallon a day and I don't have to go to the bathroom all the time. My body's acclimated. Okay. And yours will too. You just got to do it slowly. And it is aggravating when you do it. But it is going to help you in so many ways. We all want our skin to look better and younger. Drink your water. Drink that water, ladies. It's going to help you. It's going to help your organs to function properly. All right. So that being said, who else wants to share how splitting up their calories and their macros helped or hindered them? I'd like to hear either one. Marsha, tell me about your experience. I'm going to call on you.
Okay. Well, I enjoyed it. It was an experience for me because you had me start out as, you told me I had to come up with my own meals, and I was one of those that I had somebody give me a meal plan every week. So for me, I was really enjoying doing my own meals. And so I had a rough start at first, but it was like you said, then I find myself going back this week looking at that meal plan because you upped my calories yesterday. And so last night and today I was looking back going, well, I can go back to this because I need to get these 1,600 calories in. I'm going to use a couple of those meals again because that's going to help me get to my 1,600 calories. So I had a hard time a few days, but then I was like, well, this is going to help me get to these calories. And then I didn't need as many calories to get to what you had set my goal. So I just added a few things and then I just wrote them down in my notebook. So I found it simple. There was a couple, things that I didn't care for, but the things that I did, I was like, I really enjoyed these meals. And they're a good reference for me to go back to when, if I can't think of something, I'm like, well, I've got all these all ready to go for me.
Right. Now, if you were not in the nutrition challenge or you don't know where the diet is, there's a day diet, ladies. And if you want it, it can be very helpful. And I will make sure that you get that. I'll probably send it out with this video later tonight. But the reason it's important is so many women have a hard time getting in their protein and also getting their fiber in. We have no problem with the carbs. Some of you have a problem with the fats. You're like, I just can't get my fats in. Some of you have a problem with that. But others, I mean, for most of us, it's protein and fiber. We just can't get it in. And I hope that, you know, on a low carb diet, it's very hard to get your fiber in. Now, the diet I'm going to give you, that 14-day diet, isn't extremely low carb. It's not. You know, low carb for me was always 20 grams of carbs a day or less. That's what is considered low carb for a woman. Isn't that crazy? Woo, that's hardly anything. No wonder we can't get our fiber in. See, keto can be a great diet because it is taking your insulin levels to low, right? It can be a great diet in that sense. But when you do keto, they don't talk about how do I get my fiber in and why is it important? Because fiber is still important. We don't want to just trash our bodies just trying to lose body fat. You know, keto is just like eat low carb. That's what I did. I ate low carb. And because of that, I didn't get enough protein. I didn't know I was supposed to know how much protein I was getting in. I didn't know there was a goal. I felt like I was eating plenty of protein. And then we ignore fiber completely. And so those two things. Now, if we can add some more carbs so we can get our fiber up and be concerned about it, and we can get our protein in, keto's not a bad diet. If we do it the right way, right? That would be a very good keto, right? And so when we have things like insulin resistance, a diet like keto can work. It's not going to give us the best body of our life or the best health of our life, unless we monitor that protein and those fibers, right? Make sure we're getting enough of both. And that can be very helpful, right? So I don't necessarily have any complaints about keto. Some of you really did like it, but it's hard to stick with, right? And I'm not so sure it's the greatest diet for your health. And we're kind of doing something a little similar in that our carbs are lower. And remember, that is because most of us, 80% of us at least, have an issue really processing those carbs. And that's why so many of us are storing belly fat. That's one of the reasons why. Insulin is a hormone. And when we're spiking that insulin up and down and all over the place all day long with all those carbs and those donuts that we like to eat and stuff like that, those creamers, you know, in our coffee that have all the sugar and stuff. Well, what happens is when one hormone is just bouncing all over the place, what do you think is happening to the stability of the other ones? Yikes, they kind of all work together, you know? And so we really need to stabilize that. And so let's really work on that. Anybody else want to share their experience with the nutrition challenge? Kim, can you talk? I'm gonna call on you, woman. You look at her, she's like trying to get her vegetables clean.
Yeah. Well, I wasn't too thrilled with the challenge. I mean, I did it the first week. The second week, I sort of went off because I like to make my own meals, and I was hitting all my macro points by doing my own. So I think this was I don't like to really follow something that I don't really like. So I'm glad I was done with it now. But I did enjoy some of the meals. But I like to have 3 high protein meals and a small snack. So I do intermittent fasting a little bit, like for 12 to 14 hours. So, yeah.
Yeah. Here's the thing about Kim, for you guys that don't know Kim, right? I get to see Kim. I get to see her progress every week, every other week, something like that. Usually every week. Usually Kim and I talk on the phone every week. She usually sets up her calls when I'm taking calls. And so I know what's going on more with Kim. Kim is one of those diehard people. She is committed to her diet and her workouts, and it's showing in her progress. And she just gets it done. You know, Kim is a lot like me, and she says she really has a no excuses kind of mentality, and probably pretty hard on herself. She'd be great in the military because she's like, done. It doesn't matter if it hurts, just do it. That's the kind of person Kim is. And so she's very disciplined with what she does. And, you know, not everybody is like that, but I will tell you that it can, setting up disciplines. You know, we talk about the difference between motivation. I hear so many women say, I got to get motivated, Allie. I just got to get motivated. And that's people that don't even come on the program telling me all the time, I just got to find my motivation. And I say these kind of things, and it sounds very hard. Motivation is a bitch. She is not a good friend. She will stab you right in the back when you need her the most. She'll leave you when you need her the most. Some ladies are fighting for their lives and they have no motivation. Don't wait for motivation. It's about a simple thing called discipline. Discipline is hard. Making ourselves do things when we don't want to do them. It's hard. Michelle's going, yep, I can see that face right now. Michelle, yep. Discipline is hard, but so is no discipline. Because no discipline and just relying on motivation gives you some crappy things to just have to live with. You know, we use excuses for why. Oh, I just get out. Yeah, I'm just so busy. I just don't have the time, Allie. Do you think that there's someone more busy than you out there that is successful at what you're failing at? While our excuses are valid, because they are valid, the truth is, this is about discipline. And it's hard to make ourselves do things. You know what? But the reward of discipline is what some of you are experiencing right now. Great things. Because things of value cost you something. They don't come easy. Very rarely do things that have a great value come easy. They're usually hard. A good marriage, you got to go through some crap. You got to sift through some crap sometimes. Sometimes you think it'd be easier to just walk away. You know, with a lifestyle of health like we're living, and I'm talking about Kim here, some days, I bet you there's days, let's just ask her, Kim, are there days that you don't feel like it or don't want to work out or don't want to eat right?
Yes, but so far I joined April 1st till now. I haven't missed any workout yet. I make myself do it. Some days I don't want to do it, but I still get up 5 in the morning and do it. Meals, I think I was pretty good for the first 2 months. When you changed my plan, I sort of wasn't on point with my 4 stars. So I did get up, like right now I'm on my period, so I did have a piece of chocolate, but a little one. So, but I still keep going with my, macros and everything. I try my best, but I have been falling off the wagon here and there. Instead of one cheat meal for my birthday, I had almost like a whole cheat day. So
it was your birthday though, no?
Yeah.
So the thing of it is it's not easy, right, Kim? It's not.
No.
No.
I just know my goals are what I want. I don't want to be, I want to be able to be, because I'm going to be a grandma soon. So I want to be the best shaped grandma ever. I want to be healthy for my grandchildren. I want to be able to do things with them. So even though my whole life I wasn't overweight, but I know you lose muscle mass when you're going through menopause. So I don't want that. I see what my parents or, my in-laws went through. I don't want that. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So I'm very proud of you. So the reward of this is the benefits that you're reaping by seeing your body change. Do you feel like you have more energy, things like that than you used to?
Yeah, I do. Because I'm go, go, go. Even everybody's like impressed. Like you said, everybody, even my work thinks I should be been in the military because I'm very, with my timing, my meals are always at the same time. And I eat sometimes almost the same thing all the time.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But that gives you a reward also of the benefits that you're
Yes.
reaping now. What if you did, have you ever not been that type of person?
No,
No.
no. I was always like, wanting, I mean, I've been trying different diets because I wasn't like obese, but I was on the overweight category. I'm crazy. So people think I needed mental health because I go by with the BMI. I'm overweight category. I didn't want to be there because I was heavier now when I was 9 months pregnant. So I'm like, they think looking at me, they're like, we want to look like you now. I'm like, no, I don't want this. I want to be better. So I've always been, wanting the best. Like I, I can have like a little piece of chocolate if I have a craving. I don't eat the whole thing, like versus my husband can eat the whole bag of chips. I don't do that. I have that control.
Yeah.
I just, yeah.
See, I've been both.
Mhm.
Times in my life, I can be very military disciplined, and
Mhm.
other times I'm just not. And I've had to find my balance. And I'll tell you what, I hate discipline sometimes. There are days when you don't feel like working out, there are days when you don't want to eat right. But the rewards I get from not committing to my goals is a reward I hate. Feeling out of control, reaping those benefits from living an undisciplined life, And so while discipline is not sexy to talk about, and most people have a hard time with it, it'll change your life. And I want you to sit and think about what are my goals and why are they important to me? And if your health isn't important, and if, being strong and healthy, that's not important to you, you're in the wrong place. Sometimes I want to tell you before we go the truth as a coach. As a coach, man, when I see people fighting like Tina for the good, like Tina and the victories that she's had, putting on a dress for the first time in a whole lot of years, putting on a dress and a pair of jeans the other day. She took a picture of herself in photos, smiling, and she hid from photos for many years. She'll tell you these things. To see that as a coach is one of the most amazing things, seeing a life transform. Because, see, it's not about just weight loss. Tina, tell me, is it just about weight loss? How do you feel? And tell us a little bit about that.
Right. I guess one of the ways that I am so inspired. I'm over the moon because and it makes me excited to want to, exercise more. I want to, no matter what happens, when life and adversity happens, I want to stick as close to my macros as possible. I want to eat as healthy as possible. But the exciting part is I still cannot believe that that's me in the mirror. That was me sitting in a live concert on Saturday night and Sunday afternoon for hours, smiling. I used to hide. I had gone for years with no pictures with my grandchildren, with my family gatherings. And now it's not like I run to the camera, but now I find myself, somebody wants to take a picture, I can't help but smile. And I got some pictures back a couple weeks ago, and I looked at them and I'm like, I did not know I could smile like that. It was coming from, I guess maybe I'm at that point now with all this work and stuff. It's on the inside. the girl on the inside has changed. And I got goosebumps now and I'm going to cry, but you know, it's not about the weight. You know, and when I realized, holy cow, I've lost 200 pounds in the last, I don't know, 3.5 years, probably more, because you gain weight and then you lose weight and gain it back. But now, I'm sorry about my dog, but now, it's just, I just can't get over the fact, you know, I wear smaller clothes, but it's really not even about the clothes anymore. It's about the girl that's on the inside. Like Allie said, she's happy, she smiles. I'm proud of her. You know, I don't mean to talk about myself in the second person, and my phone might go dead on me if it does. I love you guys, but yeah, it's the inside transformation is just blowing my mind. I just cannot believe I'm that skinnier girl. That's me. And I don't have to wear a big black baggy shirt covering myself up all the time. I want to wear color and jeans. Oh my God. I haven't worn jeans since I was in my early 30s. And I don't mind telling you, I'm 67 now. That's 30 years ago. I wore jeans. And yeah. Oh God, it's just so exciting. It's so exciting. I
That's
don't know
what
what else to say.
That's what it does. That's what discipline does. The rewards for discipline are beautiful. Man, it's hard. Discipline is hard. Kim is a very disciplined person. And Lindley, Michelle, all of these ladies. Discipline is so hard. Oh my gosh, but it's so worth it. It is. The rewards. I can tell you what undisciplined got me. And you guys have heard me talk about how I felt when my life was undisciplined. Oh my gosh. I was telling someone today, and I've told a couple of you this, but I went on a 5-day cruise and I gained 10 pounds. I'm not joking. That I had a different mentality, and I didn't care about my health and my body. I didn't ever want to be someone who worked out. Sorry, my phone went off, but I'll tell you what I did. I went on this cruise. Don't know who's trying to call me now. Went on this cruise, and they were having, you could eat as much food as you wanted, and you could have 2 meals at dinner time if you wanted. And it tasted so good. I thought, you know what? Included in my price. What an idiot, right? I'm going to get 2 meals. And every night I got 2 entire dinners, and I ate until I was sick every single night. I ate all day, and I drank all day and all night, trashed my body. And I literally gained 10 pounds in those 5 days. For real. Imagine the calories I had to eat to do that. And you know what? I thought on the cruise, I thought, oh my God, this is awesome. Man, I can eat whatever I want, drink whatever I want. I'm going to tell you what, when you go back home from an amazing cruise, I'll tell you what, I paid for that. I paid for that. Mentally, I paid for that. Physically, I paid for that. And you know, that reward,
I just cut up the bell pepper.
right? It has a reward. I'm no longer. And so I hope we remember, while discipline is hard, that we remember, ladies, the consequences of not having discipline, right? Remember it. One thing that I'm trying to come up for on Bod Babes is a logo, like something, not a trademark, but anyway, something to describe Bod Babes. And I keep coming back to this, knowing our worth, knowing that we're worth fighting for. You're worth it. Knowing that you are worth fighting for. And that's what I want to leave you with tonight before we go, is that you have so much value. You have so much value. You have so much, and we don't even see it in ourselves so many times. And we just treat our bodies like they're just nothing, and we treat our lives like we're nothing, and all of that. But we have so much value and worth. And that's what I hope that you realize here at Bod Babes. And when I hear Tina's story, that's what I'm hearing. She's realizing her value and her worth. She's worth fighting for. And it's a beautiful thing. And I can imagine that not only is she just smiling for pictures, but I could imagine that people around her are noticing the changes in her personality and in the way she carries herself. She's not hidden when she walks into a room anymore and trying to hide. She's smiling. You should have seen how cute she looked in her dress. Adorable. So pretty. So ladies, remember that. You too are worth fighting for. Discipline is hard. Just get it done. Love you, ladies. Good night.